Welcome back to Drive Your Journey. I'm your host, Fred Arnold, and I've got another magnificent guest, Nicole Stinson. Nicole Stinson is with the Estate Realty Group. Yeah. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I know Nicole believes in helping buyers and sellers just fulfill the dream of home ownership.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I get to do it for a living and love it.
Yeah, it's great. And help build wealth, have a home. I mean, there's so much that goes with real estate.
Absolutely.
I want to jump right into some tips. This driving your journey. How do you get top dollar for your house when listing it for sale? What should sellers do to be ready to list their home for sale?
The first thing I think they should do is a pre-inspection before they list it, just to have an inspector go through to do like a mini inspection to check little things like GFCIs, things that an inspector during escrow is going to call out. And they're little things, but to a buyer, when they see 10 or 12 little things that can be done, they think thousands of dollars, and it either falls out or they ask for ridiculous price reductions. So it could be a very inexpensive thing to do, and the perception of the buyer then is that it's a very well-maintained home because not a lot will come up on the inspection.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant because once you get into it, it's a slippery slope. Once someone sees 10 things need to be repaired,
yes,
in their head they're thinking, okay, that's a lot of money. I can't do that.
No, and then they say how many other things are really that we don't see that because they didn't take care of their home. So
yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Very important. Number 2.
I think that people should interview at least 3 different agents.
Now wait a second. So
I know.
You're a real estate professional.
Yes.
That you want them to interview 2
more,
other people.
Correct.
Yeah.
Unless like I nail it out of it, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know.
Right.
So, I think that it's important to ask an agent what the expectation is of the agent of the seller, because we all have our own expectation in how we work and how we succeed in a transaction. And expectations, I think, are the downfall of a real estate transaction, whether it's either way. And
I love that attitude. I always had the attitude when calling for loan. Hey, whether you use me or not, I want to be that resource to you when it comes to making this important financial decision.
Absolutely.
It's the same philosophy, isn't it?
Yes.
And I think it also drops their guard so they can say, okay, wait a second. They're going to let me do that? Boy, that takes a unique individual who's confident and does a good job of what she does.
Yes. And they're going to see there's a lot of different ways to do it. So they need to know their expectations so that they can fill those. Because not every agent is the perfect fit for every buyer or seller and vice versa.
Right. Yeah. I love that. Pricing your house appropriately?
Price is everything. I deal with this a lot where people think their house is worth way more than it's worth. And of course, we're in that listing agreement, in that listing conference, and we're trying to get the listing, and they're just not going anywhere with it. And we've taken a couple listings over price, and it's just not something that ever works out for either one of us.
Yeah. So you really need to know the expectations on price?
Exactly.
Yeah. Very, very important. A couple things that I'll throw out there. Tell me about your philosophy towards staging or kind of decluttering.
Oh my goodness, it's so important.
But don't get insulted if your agent starts moving or asks permission to move things around or get some suggestions.
We just do it nicely. We don't say, oh my God, that has to go. We kind of go around and just say the perception of a buyer walking through. Sometimes people can't see that gone. Even colors of paint sometimes we ask to have changed. So even though it's just paint and they're going to probably change it anyway, there's people out there that just can't get past that part of it.
Some neutral colors too?
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely critical.
Yes.
When it comes to, and one thing I'm going to throw in there, and that is, if you're a seller, get pre-approved for your next house so you know what you can qualify for when you're sitting there and ready to sell. You go into contract and it's like, oh, I can't really get that big of a house.
Or they're rushing to now find a house because they waited to sell their house to be able to get a replacement house. So you're right.
Yeah. Nicole, great information. I do want to ask you about your, if you will, your professional work with the California Association of Realtors.
I am on council of SRAR, and I'm also on the board for Women's Council of Realtors. So.
But not only are you on the board, you're one of the leaders, or you are the leader.
Trying to be. Yeah. I like giving back and just being involved in our industry. So.
Yeah. Thanks for giving back. Those who want to reach you, how can they reach out to you?
Cell phone number is 661-816-4234 or ergproperties.com.
ERG Property. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
We're going to jump to a quick break.